Well, they revealed the 2019 Hall of Fame class, and all I have to say about it is I'm surprised. I'm surprised there's no Ronick. I'm surprised there's no McGillney. There's no Fleury. This would have been the year to put him in. Cujo, another example. Chris Osgood. And I know people say, well, they weren't necessarily great. Okay, if that's the hill they want to die on, this year's draft class just feels weak, for lack of a better term, because these guys had great careers, and I don't want to try to diminish anything that these guys did. But when you compare them to the guys that aren't in the hall, it's a surprise to me. So, with that being said, this year's headliner is Guy Carbonneau. Now, Guy Carbonneau, a Montreal Canadian, is how I remember him. It's the picture of the most messages and articles I've seen talking about him have used as when he was a Canadian. And then, of course, he went on and played very, very well for Dallas and had basically a cup of coffee for St. Louis in between. He's the number 44 pick in 1979. He's the only one that I wrote down when he was drafted because the 1979 draft has another Hall of Famer. The 1979 draft, absolutely fantastic. So another Hall of Famer from that draft class. Wins Stanley Cups in 93 with Montreal and in 99 with Dallas. He also had the Selke Trophy 3 times, 1988, 1989, 1992. One of the best defensive forwards in the league during that period of time. And it really carried over until he was in Dallas for the most part. Even towards the end of his career, he was a very good center for matching up against other teams' top lines. Ends up playing a grand total of 1,318 games, which is a lot. 260 goals, 403 assists, 663 points. Very solid career. Is it Hall of Fame worthy ahead of some of the other guys I mentioned? That's something we're going to be debating for the next year in all likelihood, because this was seen as a year where some of the guys who've been overlooked in years past, like McGillney, like your Jeremy Roenick's and whatnot, at Theron Fleury, where they could probably get in. So this may have been their last chance, honestly. Haley Wickenheiser goes in. Her Olympic numbers are fantastic for Team Canada. 26 games played, 18 goals, 33 assists, 51 points. I believe that 18 goals is the most scored in the Olympics by any player. Women's World Hockey Championships for Team Canada again. 41 games played, 31 goals, 37 assists, 68 points. She dominated women's hockey. She really did. Olympic gold in 2002, 2006, famously 2010, 2014, and silver in 1998 at Nagano. World Championship gold in 1994, 1997, 1999, 2000, 2004, 2007, and 2012. And silver, to go with those golds, in 2005, 2008, 2009, 2011, 2013, and 2016. Canada and the U.S. are normally battling it out for gold, and Haley Wickenheiser was first and foremost at the front for Team Canada during most of those years. She's the first woman to score a goal in a men's league, so historically she will be remembered for that. And people will point out, well, it was a lower tiered league, and that's fine, that's fair, but it's the first woman to score a goal in a men's league. I'm pretty sure she's the first woman to get a penalty in a men's league as well, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Now, Sergei Zubov, also part of this Hall of Fame class, which means that Dallas is well represented, thus the Dallas Stars jersey. But it's also odd in that Zubov's in the THG Hall of Fame, and now he's in the actual Hall of Fame, so I'm not going to pull him out of the THG Hall of Fame. I'm just going to say, Sergey, if you watch this, you were in mine first. New York Rangers, Pittsburgh, and Dallas, where he played. He's known more for his time with the Rangers and with Dallas than for Pittsburgh. 2005-2006, he was a second-team All-Star, had cups in 1994 and 1999. Retired with a total of 1,068 games played, 152 goals, 619 assists, 771 points. So, very strong numbers for Zubov. I just always felt like because he never had a Norris, and because he was never a first-team All-Star, that I didn't think he would end up being in the Hall of Fame. And there are guys who have major awards that aren't. It's really, really weird. And I need to do a video at some point on guys who, at this point, we can officially say, for whatever reason, are persona non grata with the Hockey Hall of Fame committee. They are not going to get the votes. Vaclav Nedomansky, up next. And if you're saying who, it's because you're too young to remember him. Played for Detroit, St. Louis, and the Rangers, but he did that when he was already past his prime. So his NHL numbers weren't great. World Hockey Association, where he played first, 252 games played, 135 goals, 118 assists, 253 points. NHL numbers, 421 games played, 122 goals, 156 assists, 278 points. That's all when he's in his mid to late 30s. He was the top forward at the 1974 World Championships for the Czechoslovakians, when it was all one country and when it was very communist. He defected in 1974 at age 30. He was the first high-profile hockey player to ever defect from an Iron Curtain country to play in North America. So for that reason alone, I totally understand him being in the Hall. He did play at the Olympics for the Czechoslovakian team, had silver in 1968, had bronze in 1972. His numbers in the Czechoslovakian league, kind of hard to come by, but basically he was their best forward at points in time. Very, very solid player. If he had played his entire career on this side of the pond, he likely would have been in the Hall of Fame much sooner. So that's your players. Those are your 4 players that go in. In the builders category, Jim Rutherford goes in. Now, Rutherford's record in the NHL, he was a goaltender. 151, 227, and 59. So 151 wins, 227 losses, 59 ties. For Detroit, Pittsburgh, Toronto, and LA, and he ended up in the Detroit organization 3 times as a player. He is the only post-expansion general manager to win cups with multiple teams, with Carolina in 2006, Pittsburgh in 2016 and 2017. 100% not going to argue about Jim Rutherford being in the Hall of Fame. Makes total sense. They also induct Jerry York, a Boston College coach who came into Boston College in 1972 and won Coach of the Year for Hockey East as recently as 2018. So very, very experienced coach for Boston College. 1,067 wins, 650 losses, and 120 ties on his record. He's the only NCAA coach to ever reach 1,000 wins. So that is a fantastic addition. I totally agree with that. I put these in black because they're in the builders category. So general managers, coaches, owners, if they get inducted, it's in the builders category. So that's your Hall of Fame class for 2019. I'd be interested to know what you guys think in the comment section below. And I guess the big question is, for the guys who didn't get in this year, why is your guess that these guys didn't get in? And it really seems like, nice guy, considered to be a pioneer for women in the game, and kind of a heroic story for Nedomansky. So they seem to be going with the feel-good stories and just the really nice guys in the game. That seems to be what they're doing. And again, I'm not going to try to say that these guys don't have a really great resume between the 4 of them, because they do. It's just odd. So let me know what you guys think. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.